The Nintendo Switch has been quite the successful console for Nintendo. There have been over 70 Nintendo published games that have sold over a million copies. However, there are a handful of Nintendo games that did not reach a million sales. Let's talk about Nintendo Switch flops. While Snipper Clips was initially one of the first successful Switch titles for the console, Snipper Clips Plus did not sell that well when it was released physically. Most people who had bought the game already had it digitally, so there was little reason to buy the Plus version on cartridge. One of the few Wii U ports that did not sell over a million copies was Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. It was reported by Koei Tecmo that the game has sold better than expected in the West, but they never told exactly how many units it sold. With the popularity of Breath of the Wild on the Switch, it is odd to see Hyrule Warriors fizzle out until Age of Calamity released in 2020. Nintendo Labo Variety Kit did manage to sell over a million units when it released in 2018. However, its companion, the Robot Kit, did not sell as well as it. This once Wii U tech demo allowed players to strap on a robot suit and wreak havoc. The Variety Kit ended up being more appealing than the Robot Kit due to a small size and many options to play around with. Sushi Striker being full price on Nintendo Switch was enough to seal its fate for consumers. However, 3DS owners didn't even buy the game either. It didn't have the appeal that other Nintendo IPs had, as if it was made by Level 5. Go Vacation was not the first Wii game many people would have thought of needed a Switch port. This Wii Sports Resort-inspired title was not enough to convince Nintendo fans to supplement the lack of the series until the release of Nintendo Switch Sports in 2022. It was also released where people were interested in other Switch games at the time. Not a huge loss for Bandai Namco, who heavily supported the Nintendo Switch since 2017. The Nintendo Labo Vehicle and VR Kit both underperformed and would be the last we would see of Nintendo Labo. These kits tried some unique ideas, but it wasn't enough to impress the general masses. Another Zelda game makes the list with Cadence of Hyrule. Just like Snipper Clips, this digital title received a late physical release. Those who were interested in the game already bought the game digitally, so this physical was meant for collectors who wanted the season pass included. To celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Super Mario Bros. Series, Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. 35. This limited-time digital title was a battle royale where players try to be number one. The game was delisted and shut down on March 31st, 2021, along with Super Mario 3D All-Stars. As for another series anniversary celebration, Nintendo released the English localization for Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. This was a digital-only NES title that had a full English script and special edition released at retail. It was delisted on March 31st, 2021, and has never been re-released on Nintendo Switch Online in the West. Due to the success of Tetris 99, Nintendo worked with Bandai Namco to release Pac-Man 99. This battle royale takes the arcade version of Pac-Man and modernizes it for a new generation of players. There was a lot of Namco-inspired skins released as DLC throughout the game's life. It was later shut down in October 2023, along with the game and all of its DLC being delisted. Another Wii U port that underperformed was Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. This JRPG crossover between the Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem series brought some new content and changes to the game. Despite the success of both series on the Nintendo Switch, many players passed on Tokyo Mirage Sessions and bought other JRPGs instead. It's unlikely that we will see a crossover like this ever again. Bunny Mission Bond was the only Nintendo published title never released outside Japan. Its poor sales, despite good word of mouth, might have been enough to convince Nintendo to pass on the localization. Koei Tecmo would work with Nintendo to release many games on the Switch, being one of the biggest supporters on the platform. 2 remakes of the Famicom Detective Club series would be released on Nintendo Switch by Mages, being The Missing Hair and The Girl Who Stands Behind. While this duology received a physical release in Japan, they did not include English on the cartridge. Mages said that these remakes were quite successful for the company, but due to their relative obscurity, most Nintendo fans passed on this series. Probably the weirdest Nintendo published title on the Switch was DC Superhero Girls Teen Power. This action-adventure game would be a licensed game developed by Toybox, Japanese studio for the cartoon of the same game. It was universally panned when shown in the Nintendo Direct and its full price guarantee that it would bomb. After the controversial release of Bayonetta 3, Platinum Games made Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon in 2023. This departure from the stylish action series brought an action-adventure game where players control Cereza and Cheshire using both analog sticks. This is not what Bayonetta fans wanted at the time, so the game didn't have a chance to shine. The long-delayed remakes of Advance Wars by WayForward did not reignite interest in this series as much as Nintendo thought. It was never released in Japan, and its delayed release might have made it sell worse than it could have done. Hearing the rumors of everybody went to Switch was truly unlike anything out there. Nintendo was incredibly unhappy with this game and almost didn't release it. They barely marketed the game, priced it as a budget title, and it spectacularly bombed. Not like any Nintendo fans even remember the game nowadays, but what a weird release from Nintendo. With the success of Metroid Prime Remastered despite getting a late physical release, people would have thought the same would have happened for Pikmin 1 Plus 2. It seems that wasn't the case, as the games did not sell as well as either Pikmin 3 Deluxe or Pikmin 4. Hopefully the wait for Pikmin 5 wouldn't be as long as the two previous titles. It took forever for Detective Pikachu Returns to be released, and when it did, most people didn't care anymore. The Nintendo 3DS game and movie were out for years, and this Switch sequel was not what people were hoping for it in the series. With the second movie seemingly being in development hell, it looks like Detective Pikachu will not return. WarioWare Move It had no chance when it was sandwiched between Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Super Mario RPG Remake. This motion-controlled Switch game made full use of all the gimmicks of the Joy-Cons, including the IR sensor. Maybe we will see this series return on the Switch 2 with the mouse mode as the main gimmick. Heavily teased by the leaker Pyoro came another Code Recollection, a remake of the Sing series by Arc System Works. Combining the DS and Wii title into one package, this release did not catch on with Nintendo fans. It's nice to see Nintendo revive these dead IPs, even if they tend to sell poorly. Another dead IP that was revived and teased by Pyoro was Endless Ocean Luminous. This underwater exploration game was the last title shown in the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. It reviewed poorly, so that might have made people not buy the game. Seems like we will not see this series come back on Nintendo Switch 2, but at least it is backwards compatible with most Switch games. When Nintendo World Championships NES Edition was leaked by the ESRB, people were a bit confused on what this game was about. Speedrunning through challenges based off classic NES titles was a neat idea. Its budget price was only for the digital release, as it would release for full price as a special edition at retail. Nonetheless, it was shortly forgotten about after release. Nintendo randomly dropped a teaser for Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club on their YouTube channel, and it brought a lot of confusion amongst the Nintendo community. Once it was found out to be a Famicom Detective Club game, many people became less interested in the release. This one did receive a retail release in the West, but nothing has been said about its success from either Nintendo or Images. And that's every single Nintendo Switch flop from Nintendo. What is your favorite game? Were there any that you didn't expect? Write them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a good rest of your day.